welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us for our 3 o'clock session for our Start Omaha Work Week. My name is Kim. I am a community learning specialist with DoSpace. I'm going to be your moderator today, and today we are featuring Michael Young. He is with Technology Consulting Solutions. He founded Technology Consulting Solutions back in 2017, and he has over 22 years in technology and management consulting industry. He has a focus of business analytics and process improvement, and he has developed an outstanding ability to translate business needs into technical and technical solutions that dramatically improve efficiency, productivity, and profitability. As an elected and appointed official, board member of nonprofits in the community, and advocate for policy that is equitable for diversity and inclusion, Michael truly enjoys leaving all projects and clients better than he found them. So thank you, Michael. So really quickly, some quick housekeeping. So we are going to do a quick Q&A session at the end. If you do have any questions for Michael, please use the Q&A option at the bottom of your Zoom screen. So there's a Q&A and chat. If you have a question, let's put it in the Q&A. But if you have a comment, please put that in the chat. Obviously, let's all be very kind and civil as we use our chat options and our Q&A options. If you need to or would like to watch this webinar again, we are recording it and it will be posted on our DoSpace YouTube page later this week. And also as a reminder, for each of our programs, make sure you head to Beanstack, which is our community engagement platform. There you can mark that you attended this and other webinars throughout the week, and that will enter you into win some prizes. Some of our giveaways are going to be 3 gift cards to some local small businesses, and then 1 headshot session. So and I will be putting some links to our Beanstack, to our YouTube channel, and just to our DoSpace website in the chat here in a few minutes. So yes, I think that's everything. So Michael, please take it away.
Right. Well, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're here locally in Omaha, sorry for the snow. Good old Nebraska, right? If you don't know how the weather is working, just wait 15 minutes and it'll change for you. So thanks for joining in today. We're going to talk a little bit about business in a box. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here with everyone. All right, you all should be able to see it here. With all the fun things of COVID, we get to do a lot more things online. So as she had introduced, Michael Young, CEO of Technology Consulting Solutions. And unfortunately, it's now 23 years. I think when I wrote that intro, we added on a little tick there. But, you know, I've worked in a variety of verticals and industries, from tech startups, app development, coding, network engineering, hospitals, manufacturing. There really is not much I have not touched. However, 3D printing is still kind of on my list of incorporating that more in my world. So yet to be seen. So Technology Consulting Solutions is a really fun idea where it kind of seems self-explanatory, right, in our name. But I came up with it to really kind of connect the dots of business with technology. And, you know, over all the years, we talk about productivity and branding, as you see in my screen, you know, sales process, all those things that happen within a business. And really every company is a technology company these days, right? So what does it look like to have a good email, to have a good domain name, to really talk about an inbound sales process? And then internally, once you have those clients, what is it really like to manage them? And really kind of have good communication internally. So I'm just gonna go right into it a little bit. Again, if you've got questions, I'll try to moderate looking at here at Q&A as well as the chat, but hopefully our moderator will help us as well. All right. So hopefully everyone can see my screen here, and we'll go right into it. Technology Consulting Solutions, quick little intro, some of our services and some of the clients we work with here in the area. So a lot of this you all kind of saw before. It basically is, you know, founded in 2017. I love working in the nonprofit world. I love working out in the community and driving policy. I think a lot of things that technology does solves problems. And I think that's something that's really fun to do. I am a part-time child shepherd because I have 2 boys and a girl, so play for me. So I'm busy being Mr. Taxi at times. And one of my big passions is I love to work on cars. So I'm always uh, turning a wrench and busting a knuckle, cussing at something, but it's just kind of my little Zen moment. And of course, there's all my contact information. Basically, all of us are on all the social media is at Technology Omaha. So a little bit about our services. Our 3 main verticals are cloud platforms, from cloud servers, workstations, think of Amazon, VMware, things of that nature. Obviously consulting to address solutions, come up with um, questions and thoughtful requirements around projects to help people accomplish their goals. And of course, design. We like to make things look presentable, professional. Not all things need to be boring in technologies. A lot of people think that it is. I think it's something that we can be very thoughtful with communication and design. So some of the fun clients we've worked with, obviously you can see we've got a big help with nonprofits like College Possible, ACLU, 100 Black Men of Omaha, and Unity is a really fun one. If there's any coders out there, their gaming engine is just taking over the world from mobile and console systems like Xbox and PlayStation. So that's been a really fun client. So that's a little bit about technology consulting solutions. And as we move down all of these little dots of about business and technology, I'll kind of go into what's key and what do you really need. So the takeaways today are things I want you to focus on from a startup perspective, an existing business, or maybe you just need to knock the dust off your strategic plan and really kind of get into some good thoughtful processes and methodologies. So let's dive right into productivity. So this is one of my favorite quotes about productivity. Obviously, we want to be cloud-based, right? But I've discovered in life that there are ways of getting almost anywhere you want to go if you really want to go. So let's get some things done. One of the first things you think about is maybe you went to GoDaddy or you went to Network Solutions or Bluehost, BlueGator, whatever you use, and you wanted to go buy a domain name. Good. I'm glad that you did. Businesses need a domain, but here's why. First of all, it adds credibility. If you're wanting someone to spend money with you, on you, for you, or to invest in you, you need to look like you're doing the same thing for yourself. So it says that you're thinking about things, you want to be forward thinking with your domain. It gives your web presence mobility. If you do something at like a WordPress or things like that, you're kind of stuck. And as you grow as an organization, there's times where maybe a cheap, almost free GoDaddy account works. But down the road, as you incorporate other tools, you're going to need some advanced technology. And there's times you will, what we call is migrate or move your website over to a new hosting company. So having that domain name keeps it really easy for other people. And, think about like the right domain name can attract folks. So if you're selling clothing lines, something of H&H shirt sales, just .com, things like that, where what you're really trying to accomplish from an organization and from a sales perspective is a thoughtful. So, originally mine was technologyconsulting.solutions. Sounds great. It's exactly what I wanted it to be, but that's a lot to type out. And honestly, if you're not the best speller, you're not, people aren't going to get to my website. So technologyomaha.com. We're technology, all things technology, and we're here in Omaha. Pretty easy. And of course, build your brand. What you want your website domain name to be and what your logo looks like and your marketing materials, your fonts and your colors, all those things, your brand is what you leave back with a customer, in addition to how you made them feel. So it's really important to focus on this right, and make sure that when you start putting it out, it's something that you can be proud of. So let's talk about cloud tools and platforms. If you're not already using them, I'm sure that you have in your existing work or even personally, or maybe even at school. Use Microsoft and Google. They're the biggest ones from it comes from productivity, things of like that, where we can, work together. The days of keeping your life on one computer with a backup and a flash drive, those need to be gone. You need to be able to work from your phone. You need to be able to work in an office like this. You need to be able to work in an airport, or maybe at grandma's for Christmas when that new client accepts that deal. You want to make sure that you're able to work anywhere that you need to. And these are two great platforms to do that. Obviously, Microsoft, their large cloud-based platform is Office 365, things you've probably already used like Word, Excel, Outlook, but there's some additional really fun technology of Teams. SharePoint is a great portal and online collaboration space. Using things like OneDrive is really awesome as well to store documents internally, but also externally. And then of course, the G Suite or the Google Suite, Sheets, Docs, Drive, Chat, Gmail, they're all great. And both of these have kind of personal, options where it's just kind of, you, yourself, and I, just like Michael Young, but have corporate versions too, where you can harden equipment, you can secure passwords and put rules in place and just really allow your team to come together. And of course, working smart in a cloud platform, Calendly. This is one of the greatest things that came out. I wish I had invented this. I probably wouldn't be sitting here today, but Calendly is one of the greatest tools that you can use. But using a smart calendar when it comes to scheduling meetings, whether it's for a client or for someone that you need to work with as a contractor or a vendor, instead of doing the old, hey, what days and times are you available back and forth? And then someone says, oh, well, here's my dates and times. And then you send the calendar invite. And now with Zoom link, right, with this COVID, they can actually, you just give them a link. It syncs to your own calendar, whether you use Microsoft or Apple or whoever you use, Gmail. And it would say, hey, I want an hour. And it will automatically schedule it for you and add in the Zoom link. It's just so great. And it's kind of like getting yourself an assistant, if you think about it like that. Sometimes it's just you're so busy working in the business, you forget to work on the business. So this allows you to kind of have a little bit more free time. And of course, phones. Now, with cell phones being able to do all the things that they are, when it comes to an office line, it is a bit more perceived that if you're calling someone's cell, that's okay. But if you're really going to have a brick and mortar business, or you're going to need to have multiple people answer calls, like in my world, if someone has a tech support issue, I don't want that to always go to my cell phone, or I doesn't need to go to our graphic designer's cell phone. It needs to go to multiple people, kind of like a call center. And those people need to be able to reach. So we give one number for our customers and our clients, and they call that, and then that allows them to reach everyone that they need to here. We actually use Grasshopper here. Not paid for any of this. I've used Uma and Ring Central for many very clients. What's great about it is it follows you. And so just like the old school phone systems with the main receptionist and phone boards and dial extensions, it works just like that. But it's all cloud-based on a great price. And yeah, and it's pretty nice. Where I think cloud phone systems are really powerful, or when you need to lower the barrier between what's happening in the office and out of the office. A lot of times, we're parents, we're having to deal with families, we're having to deal with loved ones, significant others, things happen. And so not always can business stop just because you can't be in the office. So it gives you that flexibility to be multiple places. And that's really kind of the end of productivity and cloud-based platforms. All right, moving right along. Let's talk about collaboration. Let's work harder, not smarter. Does that make sense? Not at all. Let's work smarter, not harder. So collaboration tools are, like Slack, Teams, Asana is a great project management tool if you've ever used any of those. But where it's really important when it comes to starting up a business is, having collaboration beyond who you're working with. What does it look like to have an automatic portal or sharing communication site with your clients? So you're not having to do email one and the other. Projects get to stay together and communication is very clear, almost immediate, and it's actually in its own little space. Slack is a great tool to use right off the bat. It's pretty free. You can incorporate it with a lot of different projects and communication. And what's nice about it is you can invite people who aren't a part of the organization. Face-to-face collaboration is really important. We're going through it right now, and screen sharing. So, where I also really like it is now you're able to share files, get approvals from clients. Think about how you can communicate with clients to say, all right, here's version 3 on this new logo. Do you approve? And they can say yes or no instead of going back and forth. And of course, again, lowering that barrier. Super fun quote from Michael Jordan: talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence win championships. So let's win a championship for your business. So obviously Microsoft Teams, you guys worked with it. It works on any platform, whether you're an Apple device, iPad, iPhone. If you like to use PCs, it's great. If you like to use MacBooks, it's great. In fact, it even has some pretty decent functionality on a Chromebook. And then of course, Slack. Slack is all and powerful one we were just talking about. Again, super user-friendly. 80% of folks who are doing business, they're doing it on their phone. So their app is really solid. All right, let's talk about branding. You need to develop your organization's brand when it comes to starting your business, building your business, or maybe even growing it. And a lot of times people think that marketing is branding. It's not. There's a quote there by Jeff Bezos. I think we know Mr. Amazon, right? Branding is what people say about you when you're not in the room. And that's very true. From the perspective of, what does your business card say about you? What does your leave behind, if you have a folder or a brochure, what does your website say about you? Those little details of whether things lined up, truly in the center, the little details of, is it legible, could be the difference of whether someone signs on. And the reason is if you're going to ask someone to invest in you, to buy your product, buy your service, it gets a bit tough to say, yeah, you should trust me with that because I didn't spend the time myself. And it's just like anything else. If you want other people to believe it, you have to do it as well. Lead by example. I have the big old cross out on Vistaprint. I know Vistaprint has some really good products. No shame in their game. They got a great business model. I think at one time I needed to use them for custom design cards for printing. But in an example I just went through, I had 2 home improvement contractors, and they came to my house. And other than the conversations that I had with them, they had the exact same marketing material, the exact same business card. And just think about that. As you're going out there building this business, you're wanting to have this whole new solution. How are you going to stand out from a leave behind? I had both of their cards, put them right on the fridge, and they didn't stand out in any way. So you want to be thoughtful. You want to stand out. You want to have something that says, here is my business and why I'm proud of it. And here's why you should work with me. So Vistaprint can work for you, but those business cards are really important. Another fun thing that I like doing on business cards, in fact, I have a client's business card here, is Biz Vibes, is on the back. Make sure you're thoughtful of how to get people to the website. So we designed a little fun custom QR code. I mean, you put all the contact information on there, that's great, but make it even easier. Just a little fun idea to do that comes with the brand. All right. So let's talk about customer relationship management. It's really 3 long words, but you've probably heard it called just CRM, and that's why I have them bold there. CRM is really important because it's where you start getting some analytics in your business. Where are people coming from? Are they coming from social media? Are they coming from an email blast? Are they coming from, hey, you just had somebody holler out and you got tagged on Facebook, or you got added on IG and someone starts sending that? Well, what link are they clicking on? How are they getting to your website? How are you getting their information? How are you tracking orders that you are putting out for clients or sales or proposals? A CRM allows you to kind of create that hub, and HubSpot's a great one. In fact, they have a really nice free version out of the box that you could use. And what's nice about HubSpot is that it will integrate with your email. It will integrate into your sales process and social media. And of course, those are bells and whistles, so you kind of have to pay for some of those extra things. But what's really nice about it is now you're able to really focus. and have some automation. So let's dive into some of that. So let's talk about insights. First of all, if you don't know how much money it costs you to run or make your business, then it's going to be really hard to create really good pricing. An example I give a client the other day is, well, if it costs you $22,000 to make $20,000, it's probably not a good idea. So let's understand about how we build our dashboard and our pipeline. So now that we know that we're coming in there, you can see here a couple examples where here's some page submissions where people went up. So we need to know where people are interacting with our website. We need to talk about what are landing page leads and what is the difference between a lead and a customer. And then how many people are actually buying things. So we go from page views to actually revenue this month. Now, this was a pretty good example. This person made 81,000 that month, but what's nice about it is when you send a proposal out, HubSpot can actually integrate into your email to monitor that communication. So you don't need to go scroll through an email and hit the reply all. You can either do it directly from HubSpot and send it and execute it and use things like DocuSign to get it, electronically signatures. There's a variety of things that you can do with having a CRM. But again, the whole point is about having insight to how you're running your business. How much is it going to cost you? How are new people coming in? And that helps you a little bit more during the sales process. We'll get more into that a little bit later. So here's that piece I was talking about where we log every activity. So this is actually a Gmail, as you see coming in there for communication. And so when you automatically sign up for HubSpot or any other CRM like Salesforce or things of that nature, I mean, even QuickBooks has their own version. But what's nice about, this one is it automatically goes into your email. So whether you send an email to technologyomaha.com and we're having this great communication, that actually goes back into HubSpot and says, oh man, they've approved it. This one's ready to move forward, ready to stage differently. So it's really nice to see that. They also have an app as well. You can place calls directly from there. And the reason when it becomes really powerful is, when it's just you yourself, it's really easy to just kind of say, here's my to-do list. You might even just have a notepad in front of you and you write it down, or maybe you're into Google Sheets or you like Excel and it's kind of a spreadsheet. Well, when you start having a team and you start having a salesperson or you start having someone, being as a contractor, or even just now you got a new business partner and you hire your first employee at whatever role they are, you're going to need to find a way where you can centralize communications to clients and how you're going to internally communicate. Email's great, text is great, but what you don't want to do is not be efficient with time. So this is a great way with the CRM to know that, you can see here, Elise actually reached out to Taylor. Well, I get to know that too, because that's also my client. Great things to know. So in addition to having that type of sales process, you want to build and fill your funnel, manage your pipeline, right? Your sales team wants to sell. They do not want to fight with messy spreadsheets and inboxes like we were just talking about. So let's get that out. And as I talk a little bit about your pipeline over here, what does that really look like to attract, convert, close, and of course, delight, right? Those are the testimonials and things like that where your clients are turning back around and now helping you sell. So we always want to start at the top where everyone's a stranger and we want everybody to turn into a promoter. And then obviously in between, we've got, site visitors, we have leads that have potential. Then we have sealed wins, which they're now customers. And that whole process just continuously grows for us. But what you need to know with analytics and with that back end of having a CRM is what stage of those four are you at with your customers or your leads? And then really, where are you? If you have, 1 million leads and you have 30 customers, the likelihood of 1 million of them landing is pretty low, but 10, 20% is great. Well, that's 200,000 new customers. Are you ready for that? And you need to be prepared. So it's not just thinking about money coming down, the pipeline. It's also thinking about the workload and utilization and then capacity. Do you need to slow down social media? Are you getting too many orders if you're selling t-shirts? It's always a good problem to have, but nobody likes having an upset customer that didn't receive their product. So just good things to think about is not only wanting the pipeline, but know how to manage it. And then also, how does that give you insight and some data to really make decisions on a business? All right, moving along. We're about 3:30. Hope everyone's enjoying. I'm going to take a quick drink here. I feel like a talking head, but here we are. So let's talk about developing an inbound marketing plan. As you kind of see, we're going down all these dots of business. And a lot of times folks, we talk about that sales process and that pipeline, but you've already worked on the brand, you've got a domain name, you have your tools. Now you know how to track your customers. Well, now let's go get customers. And so having this inbound marketing plan is really important. And David Ogilvy has a really interesting quote that's down here. It says, the consumer is not a moron. Choose your wife. Very interesting that, if you're going to be able to sell something out to your significant other or spouse, that's exactly how you should talk to some of your customers or your leads. Because if you're going to try to trick them or say, here's a gimmick and here's 20% off, there might be some people who fall for that. But honestly, morals and ethics are really important, as well as quality. So just be thoughtful when you're trying to develop that marketing plan. But of course, the four phases of that need to be attracting, need to be converting and conversions, close the deal, and then of course that delight piece. You see the same 5 layers of the stages we have for folks, from strangers to visitors, leads, customers, and promoters, and kind of some of the actions that you can take in those 4 different phases. So let's go talk a little bit about some of those other ones. What are some good ways to actually start using marketing? One is your website. And I'll be honest, not every business truly needs to have a standalone website. It depends on your business model. And these are the types of conversations I like to have with clients of, tell me what you're really trying to accomplish, because sometimes we don't know what we don't know. So having a conversation with someone, a part of my team, or even a trusted friend who's been there, done that, have those open dialogue conversations, because there's no point trying to juice the lemon if there's going to be no effort for it, no result, right? So the juice isn't worth the squeeze. But having that domain name, maybe that goes to your Facebook page, maybe that goes to your store that you're going to put online. Your customers are expecting it. With reviews online and Google My Business, people, especially now after the pandemic started, people really want to look at reviews, thinking anytime you go on Amazon, one of the first things you're gonna do, how many people bought it and how many stars does it have? I think that's a great way to look at it. And if you're not online and you don't have a way for people to interact with you like that, it's gonna be kind of tough. Mom and pop stores are really valuable, but they've had to adapt no different to this new digital age. What also is really great about your website is you get to control the narrative. Whether you're setting up a blog or you're going to talk about services, that's your place to attract those customers, especially when it comes with leads. Is it something you want to give away as a free download, an ebook? Well, you want to collect some of that information so you can reach back out to them and maybe turn them into a potential customer down the road and still give them their free product. And that's where thinking of what does that process really look like? Flat out, third bullet point right here. Your competitors have company websites. So if you're going to sell t-shirts, how are you going to stand out from anyone else? If you're going to be a home contractor, how are you going to stand out from anyone else? We talk about develop a competitive advantage, and a website can do that in a variety of ways. Your website's up 24/7. That's one of the best things as well. It's never closed for business. There's never not open. So those are really good things to go through on a website and just think about it. And of course, show up on Google. SEO, search engine optimization, is really important. All right, go to where your customers are with social media. Again, depending on your different platform, Blogger is an old one I had up there. A lot of people like the blog. Media is a really great site, but Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok's really picked up from a personal perspective. But being able to market on these and what you can get, even Snapchat, it really depends on your customer and your brand. And you need to be thoughtful and do some market research of who are going to be your potential buyers. You can't just send it out to the whole world. Not everybody wants to buy a shirt, but everybody needs a shirt. So how do you market to someone differently if you did it on Facebook as you did on Twitter or IG or, excuse me, Instagram? So be thoughtful about that. And, I have this little line in here, and it's really important to focus on that. Become the trusted advisor by teaching them, not selling. And I think we've all kind of had that unfortunate buying a car experience, right? Where it's the best car ever and you have to buy it and you feel so pressured and they're not really answering your questions and they're not really delivering on what you want. Don't become that. Make sure that your communication to your potential customers, to your existing customers, is very thoughtful and is in line with who you want to be recognized and how you want to be remembered. All right, email marketing. We can't get away from it, right? Email's not going to go anywhere, and our inboxes are probably growing as we're sitting here right now. But email marketing is a very good tool. What's nice about it is you can incorporate it with your social media, your website, and again, it has to be incorporated with your CRM. Having all these different tools and different pieces, every business has that. But when you don't have them automated and working together in a thoughtful way, that's pretty rough. That's a lot to manage. That's a lot to think about what to go check. So two great tools that you can use for email marketing: Constant Contact, a little bit more expensive, but they have some great functionality. MailChimp has a free version. I think you can go up to 2,000 contacts, but you can do sign up forms, you can get landing pages, you can even get little websites from them. So they've got a lot of functionality. But email marketing is not something you want to put out every day. Maybe even once a week would be a lot. Typically I say, every 2 weeks or once a month, kind of the download of all the things that you've done. And when you do send an email, you always want to use a call to action or a CTA. The reason that's really important is because we already have 3 seconds, right? After 3 seconds, we don't want to look at anything else. So if we don't have a, hey, go read more, and it tries them to go do something, the call to action, then they're just going to keep scrolling, or it just might be too much content and they just completely, swiped up, went back and deleted it. So we have 3 seconds to be really important. So an email takes a little bit more handholding, but when done right, it can be very effective. Infographics. 50% more engagement, statistically proven, just having an infographic. Why infographics are great are because, right now, if you think about it, if you're looking on Instagram or Facebook, the copy part where you type in and text is getting much, much smaller, and it's coming up to the pictures. It's coming up with having graphics that have numbers or things in it. So, I've got some examples here of what you want to use, because right now, all right, here's a flow, the one in the middle. And why it's important. And so you want to think with your infographic, where does it belong in here? Does it belong in IG? Does it belong on Facebook? Does it belong in that email? And I think the answer to all of that is yes. But what you want to do is now have a graphic that is going to tell your story, not just words. And you're going to get 50% more engagement in doing such. And also from that, infographic perspective, some great tools that you can use. Canva.com are some great free tools. Lucidpress.com is really great to create some of those infographics. I think, a lot of times people stress that out. We use like Adobe for a lot of stuff here, their creative suite, but I think there's a lot of things that you can do right out of the box that works really well. All right, accounting and payments. One of the most stressful things in business, right? Is where's my money going and when am I going to get more? Ben Franklin had this really fun quote of, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Well, you need to know what you need to know. And, using QuickBooks Online is great. They have an app. You can go to a website. Your book system follows you. Where it becomes really important to invest on this is you want to have centralized management. You want to be able to get paid faster, and you want to be able to send estimates, invoices, honestly, from anywhere. And so PayPal, a lot of, we send money and buy things online and shop with PayPal. But on their business side, they actually have an invoicing and a management side that is pretty robust, and allows you to receive a check for someone to pay right away instead of you have to mail and print invoices. It's all email, and it's pretty user friendly. QuickBooks Online also has the same thing. They do have a purchase plan that you have to go through with that. But they do have some free ones for like small business and entrepreneurs. So accounting and payments are really important. And you think back to that conversation of the CRM. Well, now we're much further down into the business process of, we put something out on social media with our thoughtful planning and marketing communication, our infographic probably. We got them to the website. We collected their information. It went into the CRM. We've now had a great conversation with them. We sent them a proposal, and all this is tracked. And now we want to get paid. So having QuickBooks and your CRM or PayPal and that CRM HubSpot work together, there's at least 10 steps there that could be automated. And it's just really, honestly, you need to focus on growing your business and your customers. Allow this technology to work for you. And lastly, I always say, have a technology partner. Obviously, Technology Consultant is here today, and thank you all for coming. But we need to have, hard conversations. And technology is one of those fun things where it's like, you want to have the latest and greatest. You want to have, the nice new iPhone, or you want to have the nice new laptop. We need to talk about strategic investments. Technology is one of the most high costs in your business. It's, you think about all the things we've just talked about. Well, now you think about, screens and cameras and microphones and laptops, security of all of that, antivirus of that, making sure you're backing that up, and what does it look like if something goes wrong? Make sure you have a technology partner who can help you. Geek Squad's not 24/7, but if you have a robust partner who's there, I always like to talk to folks about if you ever lost your phone, cracked the screen, or it fell in water and it died, and you didn't use iCloud, or you didn't use Google Backup or Sync, and you lost all your photos of maybe your favorite cat or your kids or something, right? Well, imagine if that was everyone in your business and everything in your business all at once. That's a big problem. So backup plans and continuity are really important. So when it comes to fads versus needs, I will be the first one to say, why do you want that new server? Why do you want that new laptop? Now, if your laptop is dying and it's making some funny noises, it's time to replace that. Just because you saw the greatest commercial, I'll be the first one to say, that's really not going to do anything more for you. Now, customers always right, and they're going to get what they want, but I'll be at least one to say, that's not in line with your strategic business plan. Focus on your business is another thing. Having become that trusted advisor with technology is really important. Lower overhead. There's a lot of things you can do internally for yourself, but there's also a lot of things where you don't know what you don't know, or you might go Google something or go to Google University, we like to call it. But you're busy. You need to focus on sales. You need to focus on operations, not technology. So making sure that you have someone that can help you have a higher output and increase productivity to tie all this together is really key and beneficial for you. All right. So business in a box. So we've kind of gone through a lot today. I'm going to just kind of play this quick little video here for you guys, and then I'll open it up for some Q&A if that works. All right, nice and easy, right? right, guys, I appreciate that. That's the end of everything now. I'd like to open it up to Q&A if that works. And definitely my contact information. So quick question that came in was, will the presentations be posted on YouTube? Not sure of that. I think our moderator might have that better question, but I know that they are being recorded, just not sure where they're going to push them back out yet. Perfect. Thanks, Kim. So one of the things to close this all out for everyone, I appreciate you all coming in and talking about this, but so Business in a Box, as you just saw in that video, is actually something that we do here at Technology Consulting Solutions. It's kind of one of our service offerings. And it was something that kind of came up to me about a year ago when we were working with all of our clients, and one wanted help with social media, one wanted help with tools, and one wanted help with some automation with a CRM. They were just getting lost. And actually what had happened is they had a spreadsheet that someone was working on. They had a collaborator in there, they shared it, and they accidentally deleted things and accidentally threw it in trash because they had all these frustrations. So it came down to, it was like, man, what if we package that? What if we made it a business in a box? And we actually just said, all right, you're going to go grow your business. You're going to focus on your business. You're going to know your customers better than us. But what if we took all the tools that we were doing for all these piecemeal clients and we just said, here's a solution from day one, getting your email, domain name, Google Suite or Office 365, to getting money paid into your bank account and everything in between. What if we did that? And that's really where Business in a Box came up of, and it's been pretty fun. So hope you guys enjoyed all of that here, and definitely see contact info, reach out to me at any time. That's my email. And then on Facebook, IG, and Twitter, we're at Technology Omaha. I think I see another question up in the Q&A. You know what, I'm going to answer this one. So I think this would be, we got a question of, they came with some flyers for a company called TMD Painting. They weren't the contractors who came to me, but I think, for me, when it comes to paint, it's tough. Painting and like flooring, because there's just an outcome of like, what is it going to cost me and when can you get it done and what does the quality really look like? I think on a branding perspective, one, being consistent. So what is, from a flyer perspective, what's on the vehicles, what's in email communications, what's on invoicing, what's on agreements is really important. It looks like cohesion. It looks like no matter where I go, I know that I'm working with, TMD Painting. I'd like to know a little bit more about maybe what TMD stands for, but I think definitely having, higher quality photos, even if they're stock, are really important. A lot of times you get really proud of a project and you want to work a little bit harder on those, but you take a picture with your iPhone. That's not the same if you hired a photographer with a high-end camera and edited and tweaked it. That really shows, the awesome greens, the awesome browns or neutral colors that you kind of see everywhere. But those are really important to have high quality photos. For me, that says, I want to buy it. It's no different than like looking at a Tesla, right? You look at it and you want it. So I would incorporate that type of feel in your flyers. Good question. Well, we ended a little early today, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming in. Happy Monday. Definitely take a look at the replay or send anyone else if you'd like to bring them in. Other than that, I'm going to start sharing my screen, and Miss Kim, I'll give it back to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michael, for that wonderful presentation. That was great. So perfect. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us today for our 3 o'clock Start Omaha Work Week session. We have 2 others today. We have at 5 o'clock, we have Andrew Pristai with Event Vista. And at 7, we have AJ Obando with Bigfoot custom t-shirts and more. Also, yes, just as a reminder, all of our webinars are being recorded and will be posted on our Do Space YouTube channel. They should be up either later this week or sometime next week. Probably be pretty busy with all of our webinars going on. Also, make sure to go to our Do Space, our Beanstack page, which is our community engagement kind of website where you can mark that you've attended this webinar, and that can help you lead to get into some drawings for some gift cards and a headshot session. So so thank you everybody for joining us today. Thank you, Michael, for giving that great presentation, and we hope everybody has a great rest of your day.
All right, thanks, Kim. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good one.